In a previous video, I said this was one of the worst race starts I ever had when karting. Today I got a worse one. Hey there guys, it's Tim. And for once, race 4 is somewhat on time. And yeah, we finished our little opera now, so we're leaving the pit lane for qualifying. It's very, very bumpy going out of there as well, and we're just warming the tyres up now with some insane sliding. It's more weaving, I suppose. But I would like to think I'm basically Drift King from Fast and Furious. I'm really not. I'm probably just the guy that gets his car flipped over and explodes, but there we go. You can see I've got a very strange grip on my left hand that I do sometimes when I go through 180. I call it the tea and crumpets grip because it's essentially just gripping the wheel with my thumb and forefinger, and the rest of my fingers are just in the air. So the first corner here is French curve. It's completely flat and you try and get on the curb as much as possible, like I didn't. And then brake about there in the line and the tarmac. That was a good corner. Transfer the weight to the inside so you can get a good run through centre. Turn in late at 180 like I didn't, and then turn in late again with a dab of brake. Get on that curb, which I did quite well. Then dip a wheel onto the grass and try and get on the curb through Oak Tree. Then through Simpson. Avoid that curb. Get impeded by the guy in the McLaren suit, nearly crash into the back of him. Then brake there, over the curb, and over the curb there at paddock for a fast lap. So you can see, if you saw on that board where we get all our commands, it's the final lap, but you can see a cadet spun and I have to go around the outside, which means we haven't got a terribly good lap, and in the end we qualified P5 for the race here. I'm still attempting a decent lap, but you can see with that thing at turn 1 probably cost me about a second. So as fast as I go here, and especially as I get caught behind some of the slower karts, I say that, but the guy directly in front of me absolutely dominated this race. And you can see he's very annoyed at the slower karts in front. And then we're just lining up on the grid. You can see I'm doing my brakes. And we've parked in the grid slot. And we have completely overshot it. I'm Esteban Ocon. I am literally Esteban Ocon. But there we go. It's the race start now. And there are the two lights. And we go green. I'm going to try and claim the inside into turn 1. I get covered off. But like Alex Albon, I'm on the grass and I'm down the inside. I do get hit into a wall here. And then for some reason, I decide to be incompetent and choose the outside. So I get absolutely dived down the inside by about 4 people. And yeah, I get overtaken there. I've already lost 3 places and then I get dived again. So I've lost 4 places on the start, which was honestly my fault. You should never go to the outside on a race start because that's what happens. But there we go. We learned from it. And it's still lap 1, so we've got a good couple of chances to gain the positions back in late. And he was too far ahead for me to gain that, and he's gone off, so I'm able to get down the inside through that corner. So actually the mistake at Senna doesn't really matter. It wasn't really a mistake. Are still behind this red suit, so we're going to try and get a much better run. He doesn't see us through paddock, so we're amazingly able to get down the inside. I can't speak today. And we've got down the inside and we made the move stick. We have oversteered. He switched us back, and yeah, and you can see the McLaren suit's gone off, and then I've gone off because I've watched the McLaren suit gone off. That's a big thing in karting. If you look at the grass, you're going to end up in the grass. Or I'm just bad, so I end up in the grass anyway. But there we go. Contact. And if you are able to get down the inside like I was there, going to try the inside. He covers it off very well. And we're somewhat stuck behind him. We're not stuck behind him. But he's really looking backwards now. And that's when you know you're in their head. And we're able to send it down the inside on the exit of that corner. Half cover off the move down the inside into Oak Tree, and then we're able to make the move stick. So not really much happened after this point. We're up into P6. Or P7. I think P7. Go, visor down, out the pit lane.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
So we're down through Senna now. Luckily the tyres are warm, so we're not going to be oversteering much. And there is a tiny little bit of rain. But honestly, nothing else interesting really happens from this point. It's also by this point that we noticed, I say by this point, it was when we came into the pits on the end of our last stint that we noticed my entire suit stank of fuel. And that's because the guy in the white suit who we ended behind, who got stuck behind for a bit, and his cart was just marginally leaking fuel. And there we go! I see another cart! That's beautiful! We've gone 5 laps without anything happening. And you can see 3 wide with 2 cadets. Goes my friend, who I'm not going to name because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to on here. He does have an Instagram, so I'd assume I am. But there we go. So we're going to try and move on some of these cadets through this corner, but they do cover it off. Cadets have the priority when it comes to penalties, so if you hit them or if they hit you, you will get a penalty. That's why I'm being ultra careful around them. But I'm going to try and move around the outside and then through Senna. We're going to try and get past this guy as well, and down the inside into 180. Once again, he's able to back off. Now I'm following my friend through paddock, and I'm not sure, the final corner complex is called paddock, but I don't know which corner actually is paddock. I feel like we should have paddock 1 and paddock 2. That's what I'm going to call them now, paddock 1 and paddock 2. There's Senna 1 and Senna 2. French curve, Senna 1 and Senna 2. 181 and 182. And then just the exit. We've got Oak Tree, and then Simpson. This is Simpson Straight. We've got Simpson Bend here, I guess. I don't know. And I've dropped my earbud. Paddock 1, Paddock 2. Good exit. And we're down the main straight. Over the curb. We've got a good exit through Simpson. And we aren't close enough to try and move into Paddock 1. We're going to try and get a good exit, which we've done. And we're onto the curb. We were initiating the human DRS. We're on the outside, which is basically impossible to overtake through Senna. So we're going to have to leave the gap. But it means we get a much better run into 180, so we can go down the inside. We're chasing this cadet now. And yeah, through French curve. We're just trying to gain as much of a run as possible. I think we're going to try and move at 180 or maybe Oak Tree afterwards. Because I hate when this happens, where you get to them where you're held up in the middle of the corner, but you're not close enough to get a move at the start of the corner. But there we go, we managed to pick them off on the exit. That's a good overtaking spot if people run wide. And I believe that's all that really happens this stint. But, I mean, it was quite fun. But yeah, we're coming into the pits now. So, to end our stint. And I believe we finished up P6. Which is a bit of a shame given that we started P5. But, I mean, it's so variable with these races. Because you have teammates and pit stops and kart failures and whatever. But it's rental karting. And it was very fun. And, you know, we have a lot to improve on for next time, namely just not going to the outside at turn 2. I'll probably make a separate video about what we learned because I'm severely running low on content. But there we go, we're into the pits now for the driver change.